Hey everyone, it's Gabriel Online here, and welcome to the Sims 4 News and Discussion. So we'll be discussing the Sims 4 overall this year and how it's been going. And by doing that, we're going to be comparing it to last year and what I want to see in the future, not we, because there's no one else here and you can't talk to me, internet. Although you can comment below what you want to see and how you feel about the Sims 4 this year. So anyway, let's get started. So, looking at it this year, we had a total of 5 stuff packs, 1 game pack, and 1 expansion. Which, that isn't as much compared as last year. I mean, technically we only had 1 pack more, but we had 2 not 2 stuff packs, 2 game packs and 2 expansion packs, which give us a lot of content. And the fact that we only had one of each this year, it feels like we didn't have much content this year. But one thing I do want to stress about is that the quality of the content, like especially in stuff packs, has gotten a lot better than what it has last year. And what I mean by that is like a lot of the stuff that has been used in stuff packs, I've been using more versatility. Like the thing with packs is like, to me, they're good if I can use them like all the time. If I can't use them all the time, then I don't think the stuff pack is good. Like, to me, my least favorite stuff pack would have to be spooky stuff, because I can only really use that content for like Halloween or costume parties, and I barely throw costume parties because I hate throwing parties in the game in general, which that is a problem, or that's a problem that I want to address later. And there's not really much items like I'll use because they're costumes or Halloween like items. And like, when are you ever gonna pumpkin carve unless it's like Halloween or something? Like, tell me if there's like any other time or scenario minus costume parties where I could use spooky stuff, because I would like to know so then I could use that pack more. And then like that was last year. And then like this year though, like there is a lot of packs like movie hangout stuff. It was a bohemian styled expansion pack that I ended up using a lot of the furniture for. I use its counters, its chairs, a lot of its cast items, like its hairs and tops and clothing. They were all really versatile in my opinion. And I liked the style, and they were easy to use to build. Because I like building Tudor houses and contemporary stuff. That's like my types of houses I like to build. It's really hard for me to build colonial or like traditional, like American, which is probably is a factor of why I like movie hangout stuff and romantic garden, because like they are very colorful and appealing to me. Like the Victorian objects are very beautiful and I like godlike, and the wishing well has so many interactions you can do, and it's a lot of fun. And then movies are interesting. I always like watching those little 5-minute clips of what's going on. And I like that one like coffee table with the reflective mirror. That is such a nice table that I like to use a lot. And when looking at my house builds and casts and my households, I tend to use movie hangout stuff in it. When you open my gallery and see what content is it, there's usually movie hangout in that I use. In romantic garden, I use a lot of its dresses and hairs. Like there's this one female hair that's really nice, and same with this male one. And even the children clothes are really nice. I do wish though like these packs had more children's stuff, but I'm not gonna get too specific into that because that's one of my main points later on. So yeah, those 2 packs alone were very appealing, and I used them a lot. And then, actually, going back to kids, because I just realized the next pack after that was Kids Room Stuff, which came all the way in June. I wish there wasn't that, like, such long gap in this year, which is another thing I hated about 2016, was we had, like, 4 months without a pack. Like, it was Romantic Garden in February, then March, April, May, and then it wasn't until June where we got Dine Out, and then the end of June was when we got Kids Room Stuff. And Kids Room Stuff was the best stuff pack that was ever made by the Sims team, in my opinion. It was strictly based on kids, which I cannot stress about how, like, there's been so many packs, and yet content for kids is so, like, small and little, and it's, like, not fun to play with the child life state. But it gave children a little more things to do, because there's still not a lot of gameplay for children in The Sims yet, which I hope they'll expand on in another game pack or expansion pack. But what it did give them was more of a personality. Like, what the Sims team was trying to do with that pack was make the child life state have more of a personality. Because it was really bland, like, when the base game came out, and even with packs coming out, you could have had, like, a hipster kid, or a nerdy kid, or a popular kid through that, but with Kids Room stuff, you could have had, like, a more of an artistic, gave them a little bit more sporty, nerdy, geeky kind of personalities, or, like, popular vibes, and it just, overall, it made kids have more of a personality and more individual. Like, I used to, at one point, kids were all like the same. They played on monkey bars and stuff. That was kind of it when I would always see them out in the world. Or they would do like whatever craft thing or science experiment and catch the house on fire. That was kind of it. Now you could do puppet shows, void critters, playing closets with get together, and have club gatherings too. The club system actually kind of made children a lot more playful now that I think about it. So with Kids Room stuff and a few other packs, added a little bit of content, kids got a lot more versatile when compared to like the beginning of 2015, the base game of The Sims 4. And I can't be thankful for that. I just hope that they keep working on children in the future, like especially like if we have a generations expansion pack, kids need to be like, if there was like a ratio or a percentage of like what needs to be focused on, kids need to be like almost a half, if not a third of the pack, which I should make a video on like what expansion packs I want to see. Yeah, that's the thing I needed to work on. Yeah, but anyway, that's my opinion on Kids Room stuff and why it's my favorite game pack, because, you know, expanded on the child life state. And it was basically, it showed that the Sims team, I think, was listening to us, because I do know a lot of us were complaining that kids did not have enough content. So, even though we had a lot more content last year, I think that the fact that the quality, I think, this year, especially for stuff packs, was a lot better, compensated for that, and didn't take too much away. I think the problem with me, though, was, like, since we didn't have enough content, I was starting to get bored of the game quicker, and that 4-month gap between Romantic Garden and Dine Out was just so... I shouldn't say it was 4 months. It was more like 3. It was just such a pain to get through, and if it weren't for YouTube and making Sims 4 videos, I think I would have stopped playing it until Dine Out would have came out. And when Dine Out did come out, it was great. Like, I feel like they might have delayed the pack. It was supposed to come out in March or April, but they pushed it back to the beginning of June because they had to work on things. But it is by far my favorite game pack because, again, it's versatile. Like, actually, it's not really, no, it is because, okay, you can go to a restaurant as a date, family outing, just go with friends, or if your Sim's just hungry and you don't feel like cooking and you want to just leave your house, you can go to a restaurant. So the pack is pretty versatile. And you can also run the restaurant and micromanage it. And the only problem I have with Dine Out is the fact that you couldn't work at one like an active career, which kind of sucked. Like, I wish I could have a Sim be a chef or a waiter, not be the boss and yelling at them all the time. That and the content, and it was also, again, versatile. Like, they added more carpet and brick. Like, when it comes to building, that was a thing that we were lacking, was brick wallpapers and carpet. Because I started just using wood tiling now, and I use it so much, it's such a habit to use, and it's appealing. But when they added more carpet, I like to use the carpet more. And they added more colors eventually, and updates, and gave us these fancy, like, carpets for Dine Out. Which, I don't know why you would want carpet in a restaurant, especially if it gets stained, but maybe they just put it there for our cry of lack of carpets, especially since the Sim Supply was asking the gurus for more carpet, and they listened. That was good. And not just those build more items were good, but even the cast, clothing and hairs were really nice, and it gave kids some clothes and even a little gameplay interaction, like drawing a placemat that adults can even do. That seems to be playful. And what Dinah also gave us was gameplay for family. Like, it wasn't just for, like, oh, like, let's go to a restaurant with my friend or as a date. Not social base. It was kind of more around family. Like, I made Family Diner where sim families can go and eat and talk and catch up and help kind of give me more family gameplay that I've been lacking. And that's been a problem that hasn't really been fixed, is the lack of family content. There could have been some packs that I would have minded to wait later and just have a pack that's based on like teens or maybe like we don't really have a living room. I mean, movie hangout kind of is, but it's more, I kind of consider that more of like a little like home theater. But I need a pack that gives me more like living room items and family clothing that you would wear, that you would see regular people wear every day. I mean, the base game has pretty plain clothing, but I need like, I don't know, I need like more like laid back clothes that you would see people wear around their house instead of going outside. Like, just like regular plain t-shirts with like maybe some graphic, or I need more joggers. Just regular pair of joggers for Sims and children. Surprised they haven't given children joggers. And we don't even have khaki joggers yet. Yeah, I would love khaki joggers in the game. Or at least I don't think there are khaki joggers in the game. I don't think so. I think there's just like regular like sweatpants joggers. Those could be needed. And I, like, also, they need to expand on babies, too. Like, they are so plain and boring and such a nuisance that usually I just, like, 1 or 2 days of having the child, and then I age him up to a kid. And they're kind of lifeless, too. They just sit there, cry, you feed them. They don't really do anything else, and you can't take them anywhere, which I wish they had strollers, or they can get sick and you have to and puke on you and you have to take care of them. That would be a funny interaction. You're changing the diaper and the kid pukes in your face or something. That would be kind of funny. Or like the baby gets out of the crib and starts playing somewhere, or you like can wash the baby in like a sink or something. That would be fun to see. I would also want them to be more customizable, or have like the option to have different kind of clothing on them, because that it's kind of boring to see. You have like a baby with like a red, I don't know what you would call baby clothes. They're baby clothes. They would have just like 3 different like preset colors, and then aliens would also have its own like unique clothing. And it's kind of boring. And like I want to see like a baby where it just has a diaper. That would be something I would want to see. They have them in renders like that. Like there was that one render of the quarterly teaser where the baby just had a diaper on. That would be something I would hope to see in the future. Also, with babies, this is why we need toddlers. Because babies age up to kids, and it's just weird, and we need that smooth transition. Toddlers would make The Sims 4 to me a lot more interesting, especially for the earlier life stage, because kid and teen and babies are boring. It's not until adults is where you can finally start to do fun things with them. Like, what I mean by that is, like, for example, babies, again, change diaper, feed, till it ages up to a kid who just plays on monkey bars and stuff, does homework, go to school, practices music, and socialize with other kids, or makes fun of parents. Teens are kind of like adults, but they're still kind of, can't really, you can play around and stuff, but they're not special. And that's the thing about adults, young adults and elders and teens, is that they're not unique. They all need to have like their own unique gameplay things. I would love to see like pranks and stuff coming back from Sims 3 Generations, where like you could somehow egg a house, or like do something to the shower, or dye someone's hair a unique color, or a very spicy thing in someone's meal, or get a pie and put it in someone's face. That would be kind of funny. Also, like, maybe have more careers. I feel like other than high school and like their little part-time jobs they have, it's kind of boring. I would love to see in like the future of The Sims 4 if we could eventually go to like high school or elementary school for kids, or even play sports. Like we have basketball from City Living, but I would love to see like track and field, or even like wrestling or baseball or soccer or American football. So again, I would have much rather have seen like a family expansion pack that revolved around having, I don't know, bringing back toddlers, or more things with teens and kids, and also elders. Because really, The Sims 4 has been just emphasizing on young adult life, and just go out and party, or types of leisures like go to the gym or nightclub or spa and hang out with other Sims, like your friends or neighbors. We have a lot of that, and I feel like the Sims team needs to like just put that to the side later or focus on it less and focus on family, maybe tropical getaway. I want a tropical getaway vacation type of expansion pack. So like more vacation. Overall, how I feel about The Sims 4 this year is that it's just been adequate. Like, it hasn't done anything that's been beyond our expectations or surprising us. I mean, City Living was kind of a big surprise, but it was so overhyped and it was lacking things. It wasn't, I shouldn't say lacking, it wasn't fleshed out enough, and the fact that it wasn't really versatile where most of the stuff was in one area, it didn't make the pack gameplay because you couldn't take it out of San Myshuno. So yes, it was a surprise because City Living, in my opinion, it was. But I feel like it was overhyped and ended up kind of being disappointing. I mean, the game hasn't really changed. It's kind of was the same as last year. Just it's been adequate, and I hope in the future they made like the new stuff is coming more interesting and something completely different. Like I feel like some items too, they're like recycling. Like the ice cream machine, the popcorn machine, seemed they both seemed like the same, just completely like new meshes, but had the same color scheme and everything. The whole globe from Vintage Glamour, like it's a nice addition, but it's basically just a bar. It would be nice to have more interesting and completely new gameplay items and stuff. I would like to see laundry machines, maybe like a new type of playground for children that's like more generic, not like the fancy like spaceship or pirate ship ones. Even cars to add more realism to the game would be nice, because really like teleporting to lots is boring. Why can't it just be like they get into a car and then a loading screen? It'd be great if they eventually get rid of loading screens, or somehow make neighborhoods open, but that may never happen in The Sims 4's life. I would also like to see more worlds be added in. Like, we only have one vacation world, and I feel like it would be great if they could add more vacation worlds. Like, we only have Granite Falls, so if we could have like a tropical vacation world or like an East Asian inspired vacation world, or make that East Asian world a world in general, like a livable world in general, that would be nice for The Sims 4. And I would even pay if they had world packs, like slap those things for like 10 or 20 bucks and I would buy them, because having the more worlds in the game, the more interesting The Sims is, because Windenburg was such a beautiful world and it just made my game feel more interesting. And if they could replicate that into maybe a different type of world, like again an East Asian inspired one, or some futuristic city or magical city, I would really like that. Like objects I would also want to see in the future, like spiral staircases, bunk beds, and pool slides. Those would be cool. And tree houses, and don't forget toddlers. Like everyone wants toddlers. And you know what? I would also like to see more life stages. Like there could be like a life stage between teen to kid, like preteen, because it's still kind of a weird transition that could be worked on. And as for like the game itself, it would be nice if they could make neighborhoods not like more open. Like we don't have to go to a loading screen to get one house to the other. That would be very helpful. Or like a creative style tool. Like if they could like somehow do something where like all the if they re-overhauled the cast again and did it so like all the colors and stuff are swatchable, or at least one, like the main color of an outfit can be recolorized via color wheel. That would be so good, because it's kind of like bringing back creative style, but it's not. But it would please a lot of simmers out there who are missing creative style. And as for expansion packs, I hope like ones that are basically reboots, or is reboots the right word? I don't know, like pets, seasons, or generations, are better than what The Sims 3 were. Like, with City Living, I feel like Late Night was so much better than City Living. Like, I never played Late Night personally, but the fact that it was an open world city and I think you could even build your own apartments. I could be wrong. But it just seems like apartment life and nightlife are way more superior than what city living was, and it shouldn't be. Like, this is The Sims 4, and this is like this is The Sims seems like fourth time making a city themed expansion pack. It should be better. And I think the problem with that is like how limited like the engine might be. Who knows? And yeah, so that's gonna be it for this video, guys. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. It would mean much to me. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and I hope to see you guys in another news and discussion video.